G'day, I'm Scott from Nature For You. I'm here with CBTV in regards to them coming out and having a bit of a look at the stuff that we do out here at Nature For You. So, Nature For You is a business that started in about year 2000, doing wildlife demonstrations initially in Victoria and problem snake removals, and then I moved up to Queensland and joined forces with Ty, my lovely wife, and now up here we keep and breed animals, emergency removals, herp consultancy, as well as do demonstrations. Keep everything here from geckos, skinks, monitors. We do have a few dragons, as well as colubrids, venomous snakes and pythons, turtles, crocodiles, frogs, and the list sort of goes on: dogs, cats, birds, fish. I think we've got the whole gamut. So we keep a lot of stuff outside, as you'll see later on, but then we also have swagger stuff inside as well. The room itself is set up where you've got the room that we're standing in at the moment, which is sort of a utility room, and then off to my right, or your left, is where our quarantine room is, and then we've got the main room behind us. Glass in the doors so we can see what's going on before we enter the room, and we can also see if someone else is on the other side of the door too. So if someone's serving enclosure directly on the other side, we can then catch the other person's eye, and you don't get that freak out if you're holding a type hand in your hand or somebody walks through the door behind you. So Spot over here, he knows when he's getting fed because he'll go over to, I'll open up these feed doors on the side. All our other monitors do the same thing, so they know exactly when they're getting fed just by the way we go up into the cage. He's thinking that there's a good chance I'm probably going to pick him up, and so this is why he's sitting behind the log where he is, because it's a bit harder for me to grab him. So they're pretty intelligent critters.
So what started your love for reptiles? I know a lot of people start with, catching things out in the bush and stuff like that. I'm assuming it's the same.
Pretty much the same. As a kid, running around chasing small lizards and geckos and stuff like that. And I had a big wooden enclosure that I used to bring home, the lizards and things like that. Anyway, so I brought home, and I'd usually bring Dad out, and so I was very excited with my finds. And anyway, Dad was saying I was spending a lot of time at the lizard cage, and I brought him over to see my new find or whatever it was, and it happened to be about a 3 foot long tiger snake. Jeez. I caught it without getting bitten surely by arse as opposed to skill.
Yeah.
And also thankfully, generally speaking, a lot of venomous snakes don't really want to bite and hurt people, so I was pretty lucky. Anyway, so basically Dad was really supportive, and rather than me running around just saying no, sort of supported me and introduced me to the Victorian Herpetological Society when I was a young kid.
Wow.
And then basically I was given some understanding actually how to look after these animals properly, as opposed to just sort of winging it as a kid. So I became a member of the VHS, I think I was about 9 years old, and I've been feeding snakes sort of ever since.
Wow.
I was the youngest licensed person keeping venomous snakes in Victoria for many years, under my own name. And then, a few people were doing it under Mum and Dad's licence, but I had it under my own. And then there was a bite. Actually, it wasn't me, but it was another person. And they changed the legislation in Victoria, and I ended up having to get a reference to say that I was still able to keep my venomous snakes. I was about 15 or 16 at the time, and I had coastal taipans and inland taipans, and tigers and browns and blacks and moles and all sorts of things.
Jeez.
And so I got this letter of reference, I suppose. I've still got that letter of reference there saying that there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to keep and breed these fantastic animals. I sit there now and I look at it and I just sort of shake my head thinking, a 16-year-old kid with a reference to keep venomous snakes, pretty crazy. Certainly wouldn't happen these days.
No, of course not.
So, and then suddenly you can get it out. But see, the same thing. See how my hands aren't closed around it? It's all gentle, everything's gentle. So now I'll be putting this snake straight into a bin and putting it down. There's no need to stress it out. And even if it starts to come up the hook, it's all a gentle, closed, controlled movement. Don't panic. Deliberate movements, not rushed ones. And it's safe.
Okay, so out of all the reptiles in Australia, what would have to be your favourite?
Oh, coastal scorpions.
Yeah.
Probably my favourite. So I've got one here. Yeah. Friendly. Give me you. So some of the most intelligent venomous snakes that are out there too.
Look at the head on it.
Yeah.
That's a buff head.
It's a buff head. You've got to be very careful and gentle with them when you're moving them around. They can be very, very dangerous snakes. But they're generally dangerous if people mishandle them. And they have sudden, quick, jerky movements. If you're fairly quiet with them, you've got a fairly mellow individual like this fellow here, you don't tend to have too many issues at all, that's for sure. And they get quite large, as you can sort of see.
So talking books, now what's the main reason you started producing your own books and putting it out there for the reptile community to read?
Okay, so I'll correct you there slightly to start with. I actually haven't produced any books myself.
Yeah.
I've been asked to do books, as opposed to going to a publisher and going, hey, this is what I've written.
Yeah.
You know, so there's basically 3 ways you can do a book. So the first way is you can write a book and publish it yourself. I haven't gone down that road. You can then write a book and then ship it to a publisher and say, hey, would you like to do this? Is this something you'd be interested in? Or the last way is where the publisher comes to you and goes. So the first couple of books I did, which is Guide to Australian Frogs in Captivity and Guide to Australian Snakes in Captivity. Danny Brown and the owner of Reptile Publications came to and said, look, we really want to do a book on venomous snakes. You'd be an ideal person. Perfect. What do you think? And I'd written papers previously and articles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was something that I always sort of thought in the back of my mind that we might do. But then it was also like, where do you start? Where do you begin? And I thought, well, if I begin with the contents, and then, you know, a bit like a conversation, you can sort of flesh it out. You start with those questions, and then you go, well, where are we going to lead to from there?
Exactly.
So I started with the contents, wrote down the contents, and then I broke down those contents into subheadings, and then headings and thing, and then do the next thing, and you got a book.
Yeah.
And I found it's a really good way of doing it now, because I've been keeping reptiles and amphibians at that point in time, 22, 23 years. I already knew the questions that I needed to be asking because I wanted to know those questions when I was starting out. And that's not to say that I'm not continually learning. I'm always learning new things about the animals I'm keeping. You know, we can't be dismissive of anyone. Someone can be in the game for 2 minutes and they come up to you, and because they've got that fresh set of eyes and they don't have that already preconceived notion of what that animal's doing, they'll give you a completely different throw on things, and you'll look at it and go, oh, actually, why do these animals do that? You know, and things that we're taking for granted now had to be learnt at some point in time.
Yes.
And likewise, things that we think we're doing well, we may not be doing as well as we we think we are. And there's a classic case of UV, using UV light in snakes. A lot of people don't think you need UV for snakes. Well, yeah, you're feeding animals whole prey and they're getting a really good diet, so generally they need that boost of calcium. But there's been a couple of scientific studies where looking at bone density in colubrids, and they've found that animals that were exposed to UV had between 10 and 11 times the bone density of a snake that wasn't exposed to UV.
Wow.
Same diet, the only difference was the exposure to UV. Now these snakes weren't designed to grow up in a plastic tub.
Exactly.
They were designed to live out in the bush.
Well, where do you find them?
Yeah, so, well, you say, I'll find plenty of houses, but at the same time, that's where they're designed to live. They're designed to live in the scrub. So, there may be something to keeping animals with UV light. We've certainly pushed to keep animals outside, as you saw with our extensive enclosures outside. By moving a lot of animals outside, we're seeing some changes. The diamond pythons that we moved from inside to outside have gone from having these beautiful, soft, very, very soft scales to the scales becoming a little bit harder, and seemingly the skin might have thickened up a little bit. Now, I wonder if that's a response to UV. Completely anecdotal. Obviously, don't know if that's the case. It certainly hasn't been measured. But maybe someone who's keen as an honours student or a master's student at uni could probably look.
Well, that's what you need, isn't it? You take it down that road and see what happens, and then the next thing, it's implemented into the keeping of snakes, and you go, okay, there might not be a high dose of UV that's required, but it might be something, say, your 5.0 globes, or who knows what it could end up being.
It could be sort of anything, and I suppose that the important thing about it is to give that sort of that thought to go, well, let's see what happens if we do this, let's see if we can improve it. When I first started keeping, the only way to eat reptiles was essentially using incandescent bulbs. Literally the incandescent bulbs in this room are for some of our monitors and the crocodiles. None of our snakes are heated with that. All our snakes are heated generally with heat cords and tiles and things like that. So things change. Things change all the time. I was keeping a lot of animals in tubs. We've still got quite a few animals in tubs, as I'm sure you can see. But we've tried to move across the cages for a lot of it, mainly because we enjoy keeping animals. We like seeing them. We don't need to see animals in drawers. It's not that thing. Absolutely animal.
Alright, well, we had an awesome time here with Scott today, checking out some cool monitors, awesome venomous snakes, and I'm going to be leaving with a wealth of knowledge today. Grabbing a book from you actually today as well, your Dangerous Creatures book.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that, but that's all right. That's good.
I got the cache ready to go, so I'm looking forward to reading that and getting a bit more knowledge stuck up in the old cranium. But
awesome. Well, at some point in time, you have to jump on the website, and on the website, obviously, we're books, but not only because the book, but
you do them at the expos, don't you?
Yeah, so we do the shirts at the expos, but then the other thing that we do, and this is part of what we do, is that we've got some shirts on there that are fundraisers for reptile-related activities. So we basically get nothing for them. Yeah. Okay, so, and again, all of these things are going back into looking after the crews and all that sort of stuff, and also sort of out there with some awesome products.
Oh, that's amazing, and it's been a fantastic time out today, so thank you heaps for the time out. It was great meeting you.
Thank you.
I think we've got a heap of great content here. I'll drop a link down in the description to your website so people can check out these shirts, check out all the merch, and help wildlife where they can.
That'd be great.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.